Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name's Dean Clayton, and welcome to SMAX December 2022. In today's session, it's all about SMAX administration. But first, a quick update. So we talked when we started our SMAX December journey that we obviously running just the 22 live sessions, Monday to Friday, at this exact same SMAX time. And we're going to be, and we said that we were going to be producing some additional on-demand content and adding it to our session catalog. Well, I'm pleased to announce that the first one of those has now gone up and online, and that is our Getting Started with SMAX Part 3 by Carl and Pete, who did the session on Monday of this week, which we basically incorporated parts 1 and 2 together because they're kind of trying to set them up to be around about 15 minutes per recording. So they've completed part 3, and we've got that uploaded and made that available. So in this one, they've extended on what they were talking about previously about getting and setting up your services, and moving it now towards everything around about the service catalog and understanding how to implement that service catalog. So very much recommend you go check that out. It's an absolutely fantastic series that they've been producing, and hopefully we'll have some more from them later on in the month. So that is available in the session catalog. You just need to go down to the category which is labeled as Getting Started, and you'll see it there next to Getting Started Part 1 and 2, and also the the Focus on Request Management session, which I did on Tuesday. Okay, so with that, let's jump back to today's session, which is all about SMAX administration. Now, with the fact that there is so much that you can do, there is no way that we're going to cover absolutely everything in just 30 minutes. So what I've done and what we've done is with our technical enablement team within Micro Focus is we started to look about putting together some video content based on various different features, various different application settings or portal settings. And also then in terms of where we look at process and workflows, and you're using the concept of business rules, doing what we've nicknamed bite-sized business rules as a way to look at each individual business rule and go through some worked examples. So what we're doing today is a bit of a compilation show. So Sheetal has done excellent recordings with the rest of the team, and she'll be presenting and going through all these different sections that we're going to cover today. And really with what we're doing is this is kind of sort of a bit of a taster of a number of different features and functions which you may or may not actually be aware of how they work and what's included as part of them. So we're going to look at a few things, and I'm going to do it in reverse order. So we're going to look at available locales and how you set that up for your users. We're going to look at log last time user accessed, so how to record that and potentially utilize that within SMAX. We've got a few different settings and features we're going to look at around Service Portal. So the feature selection, maybe enabling, disable certain features available to your end users, ribbon promotion, and also the loading screen, as well as looking at enabling custom entity link and adding multiple comments, which are part of the application settings. And then we're going to start off with our first business rule, bite-sized business rule. And I'm going to trademark that, I think, because it sounds like a really nice little way of describing them. And we're going to look at disable field. Now, part of doing this is obviously show you some worked examples where you can run those rules from. And hopefully you'll like what we've put together. And then as part of our overall plan with SMAX December and beyond, we'll look to expand this out. So look to expect some more of these available on demand during the month, and then post the month as part of our overall enablement plans for SMAX. Okay, so I've talked a little bit too long right now. So let's hand over to Sheetal, who's going to go through it all and show you everything about these SMAX administrations.
Hello and welcome to Microfocus Service Management Administration. Business rules are building blocks from which business logics of workflow is constructed. You can define business rules for records, process, metaphases, phases, and transitions. In this video, you will gain a general understanding of the disable field business rule. A rendering rule associates a name with a set of actions that are to be executed when an instance of a given object type is rendered. These rules govern an appearance of the user interface. It demonstrates how to formulate rules for each of the rendering rule template, such as disable field, disable list by alphabetical order, hide field, and so on. You can refer to the Microfocus documentation portal for more details. Business rules are defined to be run in connection with specific process events. This event determines when the rule runs. In the Rule tab of Studio for records, workflows, process, metaphases, and phases, you can define the disable field rule in connection with only rendering forms process events. In Studio, this rule governs the appearance of the user interface. When the rule runs, the selected field is disabled in the user interface. You can define the disable rule within a specific offering. The rule runs in the request workflows for request records in which the offering is selected as a catalog offering. The disable field business rule will run when a form is opened and make the field read-only. Within the offering, the disable field rule can be defined to run in connections with rendering forms process events. You can add the disable field rule to run before or after the general record business rules. Next, you can define a disable field business rule within change, release, and incident model. The description of each of these process events is available in the official documentation. You can define the disable field rule within a specific change model. The rule runs in a change workflow of a change record based on the selected model. The disable field rule can be used to make a field read-only. You can define the disable field rule in connections with only rendering form process events. You can define the rule to run either before or after the general change record business rules. You can define the disable field rule within a specific release model. The rule runs in an incident workflow for release record based on the selected model. The disable field rule can be used in a disable value of any field. You can define the disable field rule in connection with only rendering form process events. You can define the rule to run either before or after the general release record business rules. You can define the disable field rule within a specific incident model. The rule runs in an incident workflow for an incident record based on the selected model. The disable field rule can be used to disable value to any field. You can define the disable field rule in connections with only rendering form process events. You can define the rule to run either before or after the general incident record business rules. In this video, let's look at the first use case, how to disable a field using a disable field business rule defined within a specific offering. Access the main menu, go to Service Portal, select the OS PC and Printer catalog, click on Return My PC request. You can see that the preferred contact method is enabled and email is the default value. You can also select from the drop-down list. Now, let's go to the Disable the field via business rule. Click on the main menu and access Agent Interface. Go to the main menu again. Below Plan, click on Service Catalog. Click on the Offering tab on the top section. Filter by selecting Display Label and search by entering Return My PC and click Search. Select the selected offering. To add an offering disable field business rule, click on the Rules tab. As we have discussed before, you can define a disable field business rule only in the rendering form process event. Click on the rendering form process event and select Add a rule to run before request record rules. Click on the simple rule. Select Disable Field and click on OK. Click on the field link and select Preferred Contact Method field from the drop-down and click on OK. Then save the offering Navigate back to the service portal, select the OS PC printer, and click on Written My PC offering. You can see that the preferred contact method is disabled and it's a read-only field now. In this video, let's look at the second use case, how to disable a field using expression language in rendering rule method. Access the main menu. Below Run, click on Service Request. Click New to create a new request. Service Management displays a new request dialog box to gather basic information. Now, let's complete the details section. And now, complete the catalog offering. Select an offering and click on Save. Now, using the Disable Field business rule, we shall disable the catalog offering field. For that, navigate to the main menu. Go to Administration. Below Configuration, access Studio. Select Request from the request record. Click on Process and Rules. At the record type level, click on Add next to the rendering forms for process events. Click on If and Then Rule. On the Rule Template dialog box, select Disable Field from the rendering rule template and click on OK. Now, click on the expression link and enter the expression and click on OK. Now click on the Disable field. Click the Disable field link and select Offering and click on OK. So now using this Disable field rule, we shall go ahead and disable the catalog offering field. Now click on Save. Click on the main menu. Below Run, click on Service Request. Now let's create a new request. In this scenario, you can see that the offering field is read-only and will not allow you to select any offering as it's disabled. Let's look at Enable Add Multiple Comments in one save setting. Now, access the main menu. Go to Administration. Below Configuration, click on Application Setting. Scroll down to Enable Add Multiple Comments in one save setting. As you can see, by default, the setting is enabled. It provides you the ability to add multiple comments to a record before saving a record. Now, let's take a look at this with an example. Access the main menu. Below Run, click on Incident. Open an incident. In the Record Detail window, you can either go to Discussion tab in the left pane or click on the Comments button in the toolbar at top to post a comment. In our case, let's click on the Comment button in the toolbar. In the Form field, you can select the user type for the comments provided. And in the To field, you can select the user types for the comment recipients. The agent, user, vendor, external service desk, stakeholders are the different user types that are supported. In the Purpose field, you have various options that you could select for the comment. Now, type the comment in the comment text box and click on Add. The new entry appears as the newest entry in the discussion history and is tagged as unsaved. Now, since the setting is enabled, it provides you the ability to add another comment in this record. Again, type in the comment in the comment text box and click on Add. To save and publish the comments so other users can view it, click on Save Record. Now, back to the setting page. Let us disable the setting and click on Save. Go back to the Incident Detail page and let us refresh the page. Click on the comment in the toolbar. Similar to what we did previously, type in the comment in the comment text box. You can see that the Add button is removed from the Discussion tab. Only the Save Record button appears, thereby allowing you to add only one comment in one save. Click on Save Record. The new entry appears as the newest entry in the discussion history. The comment is published and the records is saved. Important information. When the Add Multiple Comments functionality is enabled, it is not possible to copy multiple comments saved at the same time to related records via a business rule. Let's look at Enable Custom Entity Link to support OOTD entities setting. The name of the setting until 2021-11, or enable a custom entity link between two out-of-the-box record types renamed in 2022-05. This setting is more of a configuration level setting that controls linking between out-of-the-box record types. Now, click on the main menu. Go to Administration. Below Administration, click on Application Settings. Scroll down to Enable Custom Entity Link to out-of-the-box record types. By default, the setting is disabled. This setting controls what record types are available to be linked to a custom entity link. It is all about controlling the interaction of out-of-the-box record type with other record types in the system through an entity link. Let us navigate to Administration, click on Studio, and select Incident Record Type from the drop-down menu at the top. Click on Add a new field. In the Display Properties section at the right, you can select the field type you want to add. Since the focus is on linking to other record types, select Entity Link. So when creating an entity link, since the source record type that is incident is out-of-the-box record type, if the reference to a property is affected by this setting. As the setting is disabled now, only person and group are available for the selection, and the entity field can only be linked to these record types. Let us go back to Application Setting. Click on Enable Custom Entity Link. Scroll up and click Save. Go back to Studio and refresh the page. You can now see that the reference to the property can be any record type, includes all the out-of-the-box record types and not only person and group. So now the entity link can be linked to any record type available in the tenant. Let's look at few of the self-service feature settings like feature selection and ribbon promotion. In the first section, we will be focusing on feature selection, where you can select which feature should be enabled in self-service portal. Click the main menu, select Administration. Below Configuration, click on Service Portal Setting. Under Feature Selection, by default, all the features like approval, approval delegation, Q&A, service and assets, ideas, request on behalf, shopping cart, and live chats are enabled. Access the service portal. Click the three lines next to service portal. All the features are enabled by default under the feature selection. The settings are available in the list here. Click on the virtual agent to see the field for live agent. Now, go back to service portal setting. Let's disable all the features available here. Click Save. Navigate back to service portal. Refresh the page. You can see the live agent field is not visible. Now, let's click on the three lines next to the service portal. You can see all the features have been turned off and are not available in the list. All the references to these settings have been removed from the portal. Ribbon promotion. In the second section, we will be focusing on ribbon promotion setting. Out of the box, SMAX provides links to Ask Friends, Help Friends, New Request, Request on Behalf, Suggest Idea, Virtual Agent, Your Approval, Your Request, and Your Service and Assets. This feature lets you select which of these links are displayed in top of the ribbon of the self-service portal page. You can select up to 4 links to be displayed in the top ribbon. Click the main menu, select Administration. Below Configuration, click on Service Portal Setting, Ribbon Promotion. By default, 4 links are already being selected, which are Virtual Agent, Ask Friends, Your Requests, Suggest Ideas. Let's review them by accessing Service Portal page. Click on Service Portal. On the main screen, you can see the links, which are Virtual Agent, Ask Friends, Your Requests, Suggest Ideas, that are displayed in the top ribbon. Now, let's configure any other 4 links which you want to display on top of the ribbon of the portal. Navigate to Service Portal Setting. Let's configure the ribbon promotion by selecting different links. Click Save. Navigate back to Service Portal. Refresh the page. You can now see that the links that were selected in the settings are displayed in the top ribbon. Now, again, let's go back to Service Portal Setting. Let's remove the selected ribbons. Click Save. Go back to Service Portal page. Refresh the page. As you can see on the main page of Service Portal, there are no links visible. We will be focusing on Enable Portal Loading Page setting. This setting allows to display the portal landing page upon login, thereby enabling the users to begin interacting with the portal while the page loads. Click the main menu. Select Administration. Below Configuration, click on Service Portal Setting. Enable Portal Loading Page. By default, the Service Portal Lite Startup landing page is enabled. Access Service Portal. You can see while Service Portal is loading in the background, you can select the following options: Request Support, Track Requests, View News. If you decide not to interact with the landing page, it automatically closes when Service Portal page loads. Kindly note that you can neither customize or rebrand the Lite landing page. Now, go back to Service Portal Setting. In the Enable Portal Loading Page field, disable the setting by selecting Off. Scroll up, click Save. Go back to Service Portal. Refresh the page. You can see that no options are displayed in the landing page. It automatically loads the Service Portal page. Let's look at the log user last access time and available local settings. Log user last access time. In the first section, we will be focusing on the log user last access time setting. A timestamp is a sequence of encoded information identifying when a certain event occurred, usually giving date and a time of day. Now, access the main menu. Go to Administration. Below Configuration, click on Application Settings. Scroll down to Log User Last Access Time. By default, the Log User Last Access Time is disabled. You can select On to save users' last access time to persons' records. In order to capture the last access time, you need to make sure the last access time field is added to the full person's form in Studio. Let us check if the field is visible. Access the main menu. Go to Administration. Below Master Data, click on People. Click on the user to verify if the last access time is visible or not. As you can see, the field is not visible to the user. So since the setting is turned off and the required field is not visible, the user's last access time is not visible to the person's record. Now let's go back to the application setting. Let us enable the user's last access time and click Save. Go back to People's module. Refresh the page to have the changes applied. Now, on the user details, check if the user's last access time is visible or not. You can see that there is no details of the timestamp for the user, as there is no field visible and display the last access time. Hence, we need to make sure the last access time field is added to the full person's form in Studio. Go to Main menu. Below Administration, click on Studio. Select Person from the record type from the drop-down list. Navigate to the Forms tab and select Full Persons from the available list of out-of-the-box forms. Select the section of the form where you want the field to appear. Now, click on Add Field. Select the last access time and click on Add and click Done. Now let's save the form. Now let's go back to People's module. Let's refresh the page. Now you can see the field's last access time under General section logged with the timestamp of the user's last access. In this setting, the timestamp gets updated when the log user logs into the service portal or the agent interface, or when the page is loaded after login. Once a user's last access time is logged, the timestamp will not be updated for 24 hours. Also, as it's just another standard field, it can also be used in business rules for building business logic. Available locals. In the next section, we will be focusing on Available Locals application setting. It provides a list of supported language for the application. Go to the Main menu, click on Administration. Below Configuration, click on Application Settings. Scroll down to Available Locals. The language specified in Available Locals are displayed as language options that the users can select from the language list in the Service Portal user profile or the Agent Interface user preference. As you can see, by default, there is no languages selected, which means all languages are available. The English US language is always available, no matter whether it's selected or not. Now, let's access the Agent Interface user preference, where you can select the user interface language. Since no language is specified in the Available Local settings, all languages are available in their language drop-down list. Users can select the language according to their preference. Now, let's access the Service Portal. In the user profile of the Service Portal, click on Preferences. For the language field, all languages are available in the drop-down list, allowing the end user to select the language of their choice. Now, let's go back to Application Settings and let us specify any two languages in the Available Locals. Click on Save. Refresh the page. As you can see, only the languages specified in the Available Locals are available for the user selection in the Service Portal user profile and the Agent Interface user preferences. If you decide to enable Available Locals, you would need to make sure you update multilingual labels for custom field or user option. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed this video and gained knowledge you need.
Hi everyone, I hope that was a really interesting guide into some of the administration capabilities that we've got within SMAX. And as we said, with the way that we've recorded these is to have them as like bite-sized, easy to reference recordings as part of our overall plan post the SMAX September event. We'll hopefully release those as individual recorders and easy to find through our documentation portal or some of the other plans we've got around enablement after that. Okay, so I'm just going to take a look at the questions that have come up in the chat that we've had come through. So one of the questions, if you've got a question, feel free to post it related to what we've just seen, but we'll answer a couple of questions that I've seen that have come through. So the first question that we got that came through was in relation to those service portal feature settings and whether it was possible to disable a feature on the portal for specific users or groups. So it's an interesting one there with this question because obviously it depends on the capability that you want to potentially filter or disable. But in principle, you can do this. So it's primarily based on using the standard role-based access controls. That would cover the majority of those features. Now, with SMAX and the way that it's designed is when you create new users, there is a default self-service portal user role that is created, that is used, that is automatically assigned to every new user that exists. So if you want to, should we say, limit some of those features, say, for example, if you've got SMAX Premium and you wanted to hide the help friends, ask friends as a feature, you would need to create a new role without that capability and then set up some way to basically update those users with that new role. And if you think about it, based on, should we say, that last access time, potentially you could look at using that as a way to automate and have it so after they log in that it swaps the role. But there are ways to do that. You could use things like the Manage Persons API to set roles for users for the first, when creating users in the first time. The other option that you could do around that is also think about looking at our entitlement rules. So entitlement rules is something that's more designed around, should we say, service catalog offerings and also knowledge, and allows you to define who has access to them. So it might, as an example, you could say a certain capability, certain offerings or knowledge is only available to, say, a line manager or someone within a certain division within your organization. So you can use those as ways to filter out the capabilities that you want to use. And I've certainly seen some customers do that as a way of rolling out something that's very new to them, things like the Q&A, where they've sort of tested it as a pilot with certain groups within their organization. Okay, just looking at the other questions that we've had come in. Okay, another question that we've had, so it's probably from one of our partners, is asking about the content and whether it's available through our standard training and course material that we have from Micro Focus. So all these videos that we've shown today and all part of SMAX September are all brand new. So it's all new content. And as I said, we're looking at ways to train, have additional content that we can make available as video content for free, available to everyone, irrespective of whether you're from Micro Focus, partners, a customer, or even maybe even a competitor, looking to see where a better option is out there to use instead of your own product. But some of the content that we cover is actually included as part of the way that they do the training today. So some of the online courses that they have this content, but should we say presented in a different manner. But I always recommend certainly checking out those courses and the education options that we have from Micro Focus. Okay, and then another question that's come in was about possible to limit agents' access to some types of records. So again, probably a little bit more broader. So where we show with those feature settings and records and entitlement rules, that's obviously aimed at everything on the self-service portal and typically aimed for your end users. Role-based access controls and setting roles is the main way of restricting access to different record types within SMAX. So if you create a new, say, studio app, you would obviously have to give people a role to be able to access that, or should we say update one of the existing roles to be able to access that app. Similarly, you can do that at the complete record type level, or if you need to do a more granular level of control within the different records. Let's say, for example, if we look at the situation where HR are using request records to manage tickets, and obviously we don't want people in IT or IT agents to be able to see those. That's where the concept of data domains can be really useful as a way to restrict the access within the system. So, have a look on our documentation, have a look at things like the data domains, and look at the role-based access. There's plenty of content to read, a lot to read around those various different topics. And there's some examples in the documentation portal about how you can configure and how to set those all up. Okay, so we're getting obviously to the end of the time. So a couple of reminders as always. SMAX App Challenge, as we've stated every day, it's available for anyone to enter. If you want to actually enter into the main competition, all you need to do is just register interest on the SMAX portal. There's plenty of content to help you build out your apps. We've seen quite a number of people now sign up, which is brilliant, and obviously starting to have a look at it. And as well as part of that, we'll give you if you want a SMAX trial tenant, you can get one, request one from the SMAX Timber SMAX portal. And one thing to note as well with those trial tenants, and something we probably not have mentioned before, is you get full administrative access. So you have literally all the access to configure that however you like. So you can build out new studio apps, you can modify the out-of-the-box business processes, workflows, rules, notifications. You can also do your integrations as well. So if you wanted to utilize the REST API to push data in or pull data out, you can do that all within your SMAX trial tenant. We don't restrict it in that kind of context at all. So if you're still interested in the SMAX App Challenge, I definitely recommend it. Have a look at some of that video content and then go and have a go. We're always looking forward to people to have a try at that. I also wanted to call out as well, as we're now getting a little way into the SMAX Timber event, integration hackathon that will be happening on the week of the 19th. So that will be a parallel activity as part of SMAX Timber. So these sessions that occur that week will all be about integrating with SMAX, and they will all be at exactly the same time as today. On Monday through Friday, but at the same time there will be this hackathon running during that week where there'll be some additional sessions that will be made available, kind of drop-in sessions to talk about setting up some of these integrations and using the new integration engine. If you're interested in that and you've got a bit more experience around SMAX or understand how standard kind of REST APIs work, you can register for interest on the SMAX Timber SMAX portal. There's a specific offering in the catalog for that. Feel free to register interest. In regards to those drop-in sessions and those additional sessions, we are going to provide access to those sort of, should we say, offline. We'll be contacting you outside of the standard tools that we're running the actual event on, just because we want to do it in a bit more of a collaborative way. Obviously, the way this webinar content is done, it's a little bit more one way, and you probably can't get the answers that you need through a Q&A. So we'll look to use something, probably Teams or something as part of those particular sessions we're doing there. But there will be some additional content that we'll create that will actually part of that hackathon that we'll actually upload and make available to everyone, where it's a bit more of a deeper dive into some of the integration capabilities. Okay, as always, a reminder, if you do have issues with your SMAX trial, you're welcome to raise a support request on the SMAX Timber SMAX portal. We'll obviously help you out with any access issues that you've got with that trial. If you've got any questions about configuration or anything else that you want to do, feel free to do that by using the Ask Friends feature. I've started to see a little bit of action on that now, which is brilliant, and also seeing other people jump in and answer, which is absolutely fantastic and great to see. But if you've got any queries, feedback, want to tell me that I'm being absolutely fantastic, or maybe you want to see my dog Wicked again, who knows, reach out to us at smaxtimber@microfocus.com, and we'll obviously try to answer your question. Tomorrow is Friday, and Fridays are SMAXpert Showdown quiz days. So join us tomorrow at the same SMAX time as today, where we'll be doing round 2. Round 2 of the quiz is going to be a little bit more tailored to what we've seen and talked about this week. So it's very much in that getting started. We'll be looking at some of the administration capabilities of SMAX. We'll be looking at maybe some things related to the service catalog and maybe to do with request management. But we'll have that as that interactive quiz where we'll have our SMAXperts fighting it out for first place in the SMAXpert Showdown and potentially become the SMAXpert champion of 2022. And also, as a slight side effect of what we found from last week, once it's up and running, you'll also potentially be able to play along and join in as well. But I think for me, what's really good is it's a really cool way to learn some extra information about SMAX that maybe you weren't aware of. So join us tomorrow. SMAXpert Showdown quiz will be back. And with that, we'll end today. Thank you ever so much for joining us. I hope you're finding this content absolutely fantastic, because I certainly am, and I'm not stressed at all about making sure we've got everything for you. But let's carry on, and hopefully we'll carry on enjoying the rest of the month. Thank you, everyone.